Hello, good afternoon everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to attend this rather impromptu meeting of the Tortured Readers Department. I promise I'm not going to keep you here long. Now, I am sure that by now all of you are aware of the events being run by Professor Swift over at the Tortured Poets Department. I've spoken with the Dean of the College of Tortured Lit, and they've decided that this is going to be a college-wide event. As such, we have been asked to not only cover Professor Swift's work, but to also include a few works from our fellows over at the Tortured Writers Department. This is to be included in our syllabi starting immediately. Well, hello my lovely friends. Welcome back to the channel, and thank you for joining me on this rather random day in April. Definitely random. Doesn't have any significance whatsoever. Nope. If you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Margaret. I'm a Swiftie. I've been following Taylor since 2009 and loving her music ever since, and I thought, in honor of her new album coming out, it would only be fitting for us to do a little vlog highlighting Swiftie authors. I just want to pick this bad boy up. I'll be unboxing her in just a moment. We'll go get my first peek, my first look of this lovely, lovely album. I have more coming. I have a CD coming and all of that good stuff because apparently I'm a collector now. Before we get to that though, I know it's like 11 a.m. and I still have not listened to the album. That is entirely crazy. I am aware. But before we get to that, I have chosen 4 authors that are known Swifties. 2 of them were already known to me. 2 of them I took as recommendations from Twitter, and there were some other books, so like there probably is going to be a part 2 of this vlog at some point. Hello, Editing Margaret here to let you know that originally there were going to be 4 books that I was going to be reading for this vlog. However, I was so excited about all of this whole idea, I forgot to check the publisher on that book and did not realize until after I had recorded this that it was a St. Martin's Press book. So we will not be talking about that book. I have cut it, like I've pretty much cut it out. I think some stuff may seem a little choppy, and that is why, but my hair looked too good right here in what we're editing right now in the intros for me to re-record it. So I decided we're going with that. I'm just going to be here being awkward and letting you know I will have to get to that book at a later date, but the rest of the books are good to go. The next one we're going to be talking about is The Shadow Sister by Lily Mead. Lily is a friend and a Swiftie, and I've known her, I think, going on like 5 years at this point. We met at BookNet Fest 2019. I was so excited for this book to come out because, number one, do you see that cover? Do you see how pretty that cover is? And then, look at that. It's just gorgeous, but I know that there is a missing sister involved in this, and this was the original plan for this video was to do, like, since it's April 29th, was to do like missing women in books, and then I decided that that was a little weird and switched to Swiftie authors instead. Because like I've already got Lily's book that I was planning on reading for this, because this is the original book that kind of got this vlog. And then someone reminded me that Your Blood, My Bones by Kelly Andrew is a literal reference to a Taylor Swift song. I have no idea what this one is about. I just know that Kelly wrote it, and so I grabbed it from my local Barnes & Noble. And then the final book that we are going to be listening to, the final fictional book that I'm going to be reading, is Something More by Jackie Khaliliah. This is a book that by a Palestinian author, and it is one of the ones that was recommended to me by the Twitter people. So we have a little bit, like, we have some weird books, and then we have some like contemporary books that are about feelings. I love it. That kind of, I feel like that takes the gamut of Taylor's work. I'm just so excited to be getting to this because I've been meaning to get, and it just hasn't been the right moment, and now is the moment. And speaking of now being the moment, I'm so excited. Of course, I didn't bring scissors, so we're gonna have to just do this. I know some people save these stickers. I probably should in this case, just because I know that I'm going to have more than one version of this, but look at this, okay? All right. Oh my god, the introduction is by Stevie Nicks? Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, this is so... I will put in, like, actual... I'm not actually reading the lyrics, I'm just going through. I'll put in actual, like, me going through, looking at these. I'm so jealous of Taylor's, whatever her skincare routine is. Oh, look at these. Look at that. Like, she really was like, this is a literary masterpiece. The way that she is setting this up. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. Like, I'm just, and I'll never forget you, but I'll never forgive this. Okay. I'm just gonna... Ooh. Oh, I wonder if she's gonna do handwritten for all of the different variants. Oh, and a summary poem by Taylor Swift. Okay, So there is that. And then what? Let's take a look at what the vinyls are in. Okay. Oh, okay, so she's got more handwritten stuff in each of these. Look at that. Okay. And then, okay, I got this. Ooh, that's like, oh my god. That's super clear. All of my vinyl friends just like have heart attacks every time she touches her vinyl. I'm like, she probably is never going to use that, but let's see. Oh, look at that more. That's so cool. I love how she, like, the theming on this is fantastic. I'm gonna go put this on and I'm gonna read some books. Okay, hello, good afternoon. We are here. I have started enough of this book to tell you, like, more about what it is about. Sorry about that, we had to pause because someone decided that they were going to mow the lawn at 1 p.m. It's Florida, why would you do that at 1 p.m.? Anyways, I'm gonna start out just reading a sentence from the beginning of the second chapter because this made me laugh so hard. It starts out, hours later, the only thing Ruth and I have found are allergies to plants we didn't know existed. As someone who has developed a pollen allergy that she did not have as a child, thank God, I resemble that remark. I am 53 pages in. I made it to the beginning. That is not, okay, I made it to chapter 5. I have so many feelings right now. First off, Casey has never done anything wrong in her life. Everything is Sutton's fault. I know that it is probably way more complicated than that, but I just, as the elder sibling in my sibling dynamic, the way that rage. I know that we are probably dealing with an unreliable narrator situation. We'll back up. So we start this novel a week after Casey's sister has disappeared, as she is starting, or she's going to join, like she's in the middle of an interview right before she goes to join some of the search effort that's going to be happening for her sister. Her sister disappeared one day after school. No one has seen her. There is some stuff going on with her boyfriend. There is some stuff going on with our main character's last conversation with Sutton. There is some weird stuff going on with like her parents. And so like, basically we have this main character who is struggling with the fact that because her sister is Black, they are having to, like, they are having to put an extra effort to make the media care about Sutton and want to find Sutton. And, like, Casey wants her sister to be found, but she also has very complicated feelings about her sister because her sister has been awful to her. I have big mad feelings about the fact that Sutton has been awful to her younger sister because it is not her younger sister's fault. Like, a lot of what she's mad about is not her younger sister's fault, and also just a matter of perspective. So, like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's just happened. There's just been some stuff that has happened that points to foul play in Sutton's disappearance, and I know, like, we haven't gotten to, I guess, what would be the inciting incident, because I know that her sister ends up being found, but there's something weird about this person that is, like, something different about her sister after she's found. Haven't gotten there yet, but we did just find some stuff, and there are a couple of other things going on that they're like, okay, this is weird. I'm just, like, Sutton frustrates me. Sutton frustrates me. Like, Casey, it maybe a little bit woe is me in some places, but also it sounds like, and we haven't gotten the full story, but it sounds like Sutton has done some really nasty stuff to her. Also, I don't know, Lily is probably not watching this because she's a smart author, but I need to let you guys know that I see the Ivy James reference, and I know exactly who that's referencing. I love that the Taylor Swift stand-in in this world are named, it is a person named after 2 different Taylor Swift songs. So, just, that's, I had to put that out there.
Morning. I stayed up far too late working on this book,
And I got up way too early because I live in a society where apparently people tromp up and down the stairs at 7 a.m. and unload the dishes loudly. Anyways, hello. I had a thought. Can you see where I am? There's a bookmark in there. Made it to chapter 12, which means I'm at page 140. There's no I kept waiting for some answers. Like, there's nothing. I was like, there's gonna be a good place to put the book down and go to sleep, and no, there's no good place. There's no good place to put this book down. It's all mildly unsettling and also deeply enraging. We found out what happened with the sister and the Ivy James money, and there's so much going on. Like, neither of these girls, I still have the biggest beef with Sutton. Casey's no angel either. I get it. I understand. But also, she is also not behaving the way she should be, and it's just making me mad as someone whose sibling is actually a decent person. And, like, in general, better than most dudes out there. Just like, anyways, that's a whole other story, and I don't know how he ended up that way, but thank God I don't have to deal with any of that. I realized I haven't told y'all how I feel about this album, and part of that is because there's so much going on here, the way that she was able to, so much going on here. I have listened to it 5 times at this point, all the way through the main album. I haven't listened to the anthology nearly as much. Currently, my favorites are, number 1, because I love her, Clara Bow. But Daddy, I Love Him is a very close second. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, The Alchemy, and LOML. I get that. But Daddy, I Love Him was such a, just like, within the first verse, I was going, oh, she's a genius. Like, oh my God. And then the way, the arrangement and the way that, like, the music and the lyrics for Clara Bow just come together. You guys are sleeping on this song. You're sleeping on it. It doesn't get enough love. It doesn't get enough attention. Anyways, I'm having a very good time with it. There's a lot here. I'm one of those people that I go into a Taylor album and I'm just going to listen to the music, and when things come to me, they come to me. And sometimes they come to me 10 years after the album came out, which happened with 1989, literally Thursday. I just let things come to me as they come to me. I'm very much that kind of person. Like, I'm not here to ace a test. I'm here to listen to music. I'm here to read books. That's what we're doing. Anyways, so let's talk about this book. It's good. It's very good. I think it might be too early in the morning for me to have really good thoughts. It is dealing with a lot of, like, complicated family relationships, and really at this point the only real villains that I see in this narrative are her parents. Her mother's driving me insane. I'm not a big fan of moms that are, like, really controlling and want everything to look just perfect and all of that stuff. And that has nothing to do with my own mother, because she's not that person. However, like, anytime I read a book about a mom who is like this, I'm just like, have you considered just not putting that on your children? Ma'am, have you considered that? I think mom is compensating for some things. Or not compensating. I think mom is aware, like, I think mom is aware of things, and, like, her way of making sure that nothing bad happens to her family, and of trying to compensate for the way society sees her family, specifically sees her husband and her daughters, is to, like, be this person, like, you've got to be perfect. She really, like, was like, she really embraced the you gotta work twice as hard to get half as far narrative there. Dad, we haven't, like, other than him just being sad and being obsessed with family history and that kind of thing, we haven't gotten a lot of, like, I haven't gotten a feel on him yet, except I feel like Casey, like, if parents have favorites, I kind of feel like Casey was his favorite. And I have a feeling her sister resented her for that. Her sister sees Casey as both parents' favorite. I'm not getting that from Casey's point of view. I'm not getting that from the way that the parents are treating her. I am entering into this family at an unprecedented time, though. I recognize that. I was talking with Lily over Twitter yesterday, and because I made a funny tweet about, like, or not a funny tweet, I made a tweet about how I was, like, annoyed. I hate it when older siblings are terrible, and she, like, responded to that, like, haha, just wait till you read my book. And I was like, why do you think I made this tweet? It was very funny. But, like, we were talking, and she's like, well, you won't hate her forever. And I'm like, I know. I'm, like, literally, like, this is so well written. But I'm sitting here going, I want to hate her so bad. I want to hate her so bad, but I know I'm missing context, and I know I have an unreliable narrator. There's, like, this mad 3-year-old who's, like, being dragged to Disney World and doesn't want to be happy about the fact that they're being dragged to Disney World for unknown reasons. And you know, like, because I don't know. I can't think of why a 3-year-old would not want to go to Disney World, except that, like, I mean, they can't understand the concept of how exhausting that place is. This is a Taylor Swift level of layering kind of narrative, because they just, like, every time you think you've got one level figured out, there's another level to go into with this family, which makes sense. So I'm not sure what's going on. I haven't figured out, like, are we doing a little bit of something supernatural? Is this like is this a body snatcher situation? I don't think it is. But I haven't completely ruled that out. Does she actually have amnesia? Is that what is actually going on? Or is she, like, is Casey right? I have no answers right now. I don't know what's going on. And even if I had answers, I couldn't tell you the answers. Okay, we're gonna try and be calm, cool, collected for this update, because I don't want any more bouncy camera footage. I apologize if y'all have been having to deal with that. This should not be bouncing, but that's neither here nor there. We finished a book. I finished The Shadow Sister by Lily Mead, and I'm just going to put the text that I sent her during that scene up here. This book is a lot. And if you're going to read it, I really do suggest reading the author's note, because it is very apparent why Lily chose some of the things that she chose. This is one of those mystery books that, like, there's just no good place to put it down, because, like, I had questions and there were no answers, or if there were answers, all of the answers led to more questions, and it is just so many things going on. Our main character and her sister are so well layered. Like, I may have come around. I still disagree with her. I still think there are some things that she could have handled better as the elder of the siblings, but people are not perfect, and I came around to Sutton by the end. Can't tell you. Don't want to spoil. There's so much. I just know that the writing is beautiful. It's immaculate. I thought it was so effective and evocative, and there were things that, like, literally just made me laugh out loud in the way, like, in the way, like, the way that it's done. I loved the little, like, Ivy James stuff, and from listening to Lily, we're going to be getting more of the Ivy James lore, and I'm maybe even more interested in that than I am in the Tay lore. That's a bad joke. That's such a terrible joke. I'm sorry. I apologize. If you want to leave for that, I get it. You would be justified in leaving for that joke. There's a lot in this book. There is a lot about specifically Casey's identity and the way that it kind of intersects with her sister's own feelings about identity, the place that they both kind of inhabit as biracial girls trying to figure things out. There's also a lot about family. There is so much going on. This is a book about family history. This is a book about family bonds. This is a book about what tragedy does to families. Anyways, there's a lot in here that I can't really talk about without spoiling things. And all of the important things that I could have said have already been said to Lily. Just know it's good. 5 out of 5 stars. I put it down, and I wanted more. I was mad the book was over. The ending is perfect, but I'm still mad. I still want more. I still want to know, like, what do they do for college? What do the rest of their lives look like? Like, that's how well fleshed out and developed these characters are. They feel like real people. Anyways, finish that. Now I move on to Your Blood, My Bones by Kelly Andrew. This is a literal, the title is a reference to Ivy from, is it Ivy? I'm pretty sure it's Ivy that has that lyric. I can't think of the lyric right now. When I think of it, I will tell you the lyric. understand this is about a girl going back to her house, and I don't know much more than that. There's some weird paranormal stuff, because there's always weird paranormal stuff with Kelly's books. That is where I'm going to leave you with this one. I'm going to go read some of it, and I'll have more about what's going on in this book when we finish. Hello, we are here with our first update for Your Blood, My Bones. I was wrong. It's a folklore reference. It's a folklore reference to one of my my second favorite song on folklore, which is My Tears Ricochet. The fact that I can't, what's wrong with me, guys? What's wrong with me? I am currently 76 pages in. I did not want to put this down to update you guys, because this book, I've read another book that tried to do this concept, and it did not do it nearly as well as this book is doing it. So you have no idea what the concept is, so let me explain to you. So what this book is about is we have Wyatt, and she is going back to her family home. They own, I guess it's an estate, something like that. I haven't been able to figure out if they are if they're, so I think they're close to Salem, Massachusetts. I think they are close to Salem, Massachusetts. I also think that this is a really weird, witchy, paranormal Peter Pan retelling. Because we've got Wyatt and we've got Peter. And Peter is a boy who is semi-immortal. They can kill him, and then he comes back to life the next day as a brand new little baby. And it's been a while since he has been killed, because Wyatt's dad decided that he couldn't, stomach the idea of continually murdering this boy for whatever purpose that they've been, it's part of a ritual that they were doing with whatever's going on her parents' land. So he decided he couldn't continue doing this, and so Peter ended up growing up alongside Wyatt. When Wyatt was 11, something happened, and she was taken away by her mother from Willow Heath. Wyatt's dad has recently died, and she's going back to Willow Heath to, basically, she shows up with a gas can and a book of matches, because she wants to burn the whole thing down, because, the way she left was so horrible and traumatic, and she didn't, she has this whole big grudge against her dad, all of that stuff, and she finds Peter locked up in the cellar in, chains that only she can unlock, that take blood magic to unlock. And so, she's dealing with that. She's dealing with the fact that apparently Peter might want to kill her, because that might be the way that he gets out of his thing. There is a third boy that was running around with them named James, and I have a feeling I know what... James. Give me just a second. Yep. Yeah, this is a Peter Pan retelling. I'm not gonna... Anyways, I have an idea of what he is going to fill in this whole thing, but it's been Wyatt and Peter this entire time, and we've only covered, I think, maybe a couple of hours, maybe 24 hours, because Wyatt gets there, and she's immediately oh, this is weird, we've got a kid locked up in the basement, I need to leave, I need to call my mom, my cell phone's not working, my car, some stuff happens with her car that I was okay, that's odd and weird, and so it's very interesting, because she knows magic is weird and not real, and she knows weird magic stuff can happen. She is suppressing her own magic as hard as she can. It's just such a fantastic metaphor of girls suppressing their own power because they don't want to cause a fuss. Anyways, I am having such a good time with it. I am already into this, enjoying this kind of back and forth and the mystery between Wyatt and Peter, and him trying to he's at such this whole tension is she's his way out. If he sacrifices, what I'm getting the feeling is if he sacrifices her in his place, she is his way out. He can finally leave and finally be free of whatever is going on with this beast or magical force or something like that. It's giving me Luminaries vibes, and there's something that the Westlocks or Wyatt's family has been holding back, and it's now that her dad is dead and no one's tending, things are starting to happen. And then we've got Wyatt, who's trying to figure out, okay, what the heck is going on with Peter? How I can't leave. There are people that are stopping me from leaving. I am losing my goddamn mind. Oh my god. This is insanely good. Anyways, I'm Like, for this one, the vibes are immaculate. Just like the vibes are immaculate. I'm so interested in this mystery of what's going on with Peter. What were they doing with him? Why were they sacrificing him? He was kept as a little boy for a really long time. Like, he was only allowed to get so old, and then he'd be a baby again and do the whole and he would only get so old. And there's seven, and anyways, I'm perfectly sane, I promise. I'm just enjoying the tension that is going on in this novel, and the way that tension feeds into the mystery and how it feeds into the relationship with our two characters. Like, it's really hard to pull off a novel where you only have really two characters that are it, like, that's it. That's all that's going on. Well, it's not all that's going on, because she's had some other things happen. I don't even know why I'm getting so emotional. Like, it's not like Peter Pan is a beloved childhood favorite for me. It's good. I'm going to go read some more. I didn't want to talk to you anyways. I have no thoughts, and I didn't want to talk to you anyways, because I wanted to keep reading my book. Like, it's been very hard to put these books down. So what I'm getting from this is Swiftie authors are the authors to read.
You would think that with all of the Taylor shirts I own, I would wear one in every single clip of this video, but Taylor doesn't make a lot of tank tops. I am 179 pages into, is this correct? Yeah, this is the correct way out. I'm 179 pages into this book, so that means I'm about, I just started here. I'm so, halfway. I am, like, there's no good place to stop here. Like, I just have questions. All I have are questions. There are no answers. Questions and theories. This is sounding very familiar. I don't know why that's ringing any bells. It's so complicated. We just had a big twist about our antagonist, which I guessed ahead of time, but I love doing that. That's like my favorite thing, is to figure things out ahead of time. And so we just had like this big thing, like a big, not a reveal, but like some things were confirmed about our antagonist. And their place, and now I'm so curious about how that happened. Why is that grave? Why does it exist? What happened there? What happened there? And so I'm just like, I need answers. I need to know. I need to know. I need to know things. There's just so much weird, creepy, like, paranormal stuff going on, and then our main character, like, she has magic, but it's not the magic that her father had, so they are having to figure out, okay, well, your magic is a different type of magic, so how do we, like, do what we need to do using your type of magic when, like, because his magic was entirely about growing things, and hers isn't, things do grow with her magic. It has more to do with decay, and so they're trying to figure out, like, she and Peter are trying to figure out, how do I do this? How do I do this? Like, how do we translate what my dad, because she has she has a journal with her dad's spells and all this stuff, and they're trying to get the wards back up so that this beast can't get in the house. You know that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be too late. And then there's stuff that Peter is keeping from Wyatt because he's afraid of, like, what the consequences will be if she finds out. And I can't say that I blame him. Like, it's a big thing that he's keeping, and it's something she probably should know. But also, with the way that she has reacted to some of the other stuff that he's revealed, and, like, the way she reacted at the beginning, I can understand why he's hesitant that she might not hear the rest of the story, if that makes sense. And he's like, well, I'm trying, like, there are things he is trying to do. I am going to go and continue reading this book, and I will update y'all when I've read more. Well, probably will update y'all when I'm finished. Forgot to mention this, and I wanted to mention it. Kelly is so good at, like, giving you just enough information that you kind of know what happened. Like we've been getting bits and pieces of something that happened to Wyatt, like, a year ago. And we've gotten enough bits and pieces to know kind of how, to have an idea of what may have happened, like, between, like, other stuff that's happened in her past, like flashbacks she's had, to her childhood, things like that. You've got the same thing going on with the grave situation I was talking about earlier. If you guys know, you know. If you haven't read the book, you don't know, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm going to let you figure it out on your own. But you've got enough information to, like, have an idea of what happened. But, like, she still, like, leaves it murky enough that you're like, okay, but I need the details. Like, she builds up the interest and the intrigue enough that you're like, yeah, but the details. And that's really well done. That's a really interesting way to build the tension. Like, anyways, I'm gonna keep reading, but I wanted to mention that because I was thinking about it as I started reading.
I have no idea how to talk with you guys about this book because, like, I don't know how to talk about this. Okay, so we're just going to talk about things that are not my opinion about this book. Or, at least, well, I mean, they are my opinion about this book, but they're not. So I have finished the book. It is definitely some sort of Peter Pan-inspired fiction, the way that she has done this. It is so well written. The language in it is so good. It, like, the way that she crafts the narrative, the way that we go through this relationship with this girl and these two boys and build the relationship between the two of them. Like, Kelly had me legitimately sad at the idea of either of the boys dying. I would have been less sad if one of them had died versus the other. I'm not going to give you any hints as to what that is, but, like, the way that she's able to do that and get you invested in all that, get you invested in one of the characters despite everything going on with that character. You see this character through so much love in their eyes, and I just, like, just so well done. Vibes are immaculate. The mystery and everything that is going on there is just, like, most people would be giving this a 4 or 5 stars. For personal reasons, I will be rating it 3 stars on Goodreads. My personal rating, though, is a 2-star. Like, she did something that I absolutely hated when that happens in books. Like, I will never read this book again because that hurts and I don't like it. I can't read, like, it's not I can't read them, but I don't like reading books that have that. And if it had been flipped around the other way, this would have been a 5-star book for me. My personal enjoyment level, which is the thing that I do to rate my books, like, it is a testament to how well written this is that it is not getting 1 star, because a lot of the time when authors do this with their narrative, and I'm sorry, I can't get into any more specifics because it will spoil the ending of the book, and I think most people are not like me, and most people do not need things to end in a very specific way for them to fully enjoy the book and not have the book ruined. Like, I'm so conflicted about, like, this, but I can't help the way that I feel about the book, and the way that the book made me feel, and I don't read books to feel like that. So, like, this is going to be 5 stars for a lot of people, or for, like, a favorite for a lot of people, especially people who like Peter Pan retellings or Peter Pan inspired fiction. This is a book that it's like, for thee, not for me kind of thing, because I feel personally, like, I feel hurt. I do not like books that leave you feeling devastated at the end. I like books that leave me feeling happy, and I don't feel happy having read this book. Like, you can put me through all kinds of hell as long as the rest of it is, like, the ending is good. And for me, this is not a good ending for me. So, but if anything about this interests you, just please do pick it up, because this is a me thing. This is a long-standing dislike of stories that do this thing. And that's all I will say about it. It's funny, because normally I would not. I'm glad I read this first versus the other way around, because normally if I had read this first, I'd be like, Kelly, you're a wonderful person. I love you. We're friends on Twitter, but I don't think I can read any more of your books because I don't think I can trust you. But I happen to know, thanks to this book, how the next book ends. So I'm glad that I did not read that one first, because I would have been so much angrier at this book. I'm looking forward to reading The Whispering Dark, though. I'm very excited about that one, and I will probably read future works. I just will go into them with a little more caution than I went into this one. Like, it'll be a Brandon Sanderson type situation where I'm like, okay, you've hurt me in the past, but you've also written stuff I really like. It's funny because I was like, I should have done the 2 weird paranormal books on either end of the fun contemporary, but now I am very glad that I saved the fun contemporary for last, because I I need the fun contemporary. Now I'm sad. I'm sad and I don't like it. I don't like being sad when I finish my books. I might change my mind. I don't know. I need to process this book more, but anyways, I have no idea what this other book is about. I know it's about it. Well, clearly there is some sort of love triangle, it looks like, going on here. And that's as much as I know. So, and I'm going to read it to find out what it's about. So that's what I know the main character is autistic and Palestinian, and that's all I know about the book at this point. I read the description at one point, but I forget those so quickly. It's fine. I will check in with you guys soon. Hey, hello. We have an update. I have made it to page 60 in something more, and it's cute so far. It's also, like, it's funny because how do I explain this? Okay, let me step back and we'll see if I can talk my way into, like, explaining this, like, how I'm feeling about this. Like people are going to think that, like I genuinely, there's a weird part of this that I genuinely like and think is, like, it makes sense, and I know people are going to take issue with it. So we're following our main character, Jessie, in this book, and she's going into high school for the very first time. Note, Canadians, do you, like, do your first term, your fall term, does that go all the way into January, or is this school just weird? Because, like, they're doing finals for their first term in January, and I'm just like, why would you not get a Christmas, like, why would you do Christmas break and then come, like, that just feels incomplete and annoying to me. I would be frustrated by it. Long story short, she is going into high school, and she's dealing with going into high school. This is going to be a new high school, entirely new people that she's meeting. She's dealing with this also at the same time as just being diagnosed with autism. And so she's grappling with that diagnosis while also grappling with, like, wanting to fit in at this school, because she didn't really fit in her elementary, middle school years, and everybody knew her, and they knew all the, like, they knew about the meltdowns that she had as a child before she was able to self-regulate, things like that. And so she is trying to be normal in this book, and this is a book for the kids that were just diagnosed. This is definitely, like, she is grappling with this diagnosis. She's grappling with internalized ableism. She is grappling with the fact that she doesn't want to be seen as weird, quote unquote. She's already had so many years of people, like, of being the odd one out, of not, like, being a social outcast, of feeling like, or at least feeling like a social outcast, and not having a lot of friends, and she wants this to be different, and she's trying to do this while also, like, trying to deal with masking and all of that other stuff, and having all of this new vocabulary and things like that. So she is working through things. Like, this is a plot point, Karen. It's not like the author is working through those things with you. Also, oh my god, she's so, like, I love her. She's so over dramatic in certain places. Like, she goes from 0 to 10 so quickly. She's also obsessed with the 90s, which I find kind of fun and cool. So far, I have not understood any of the 90s references she's made, because they're mostly music and things like that, and I wasn't allowed to listen to 90s music, at least not secular music. Another thing that I think is really interesting that the author highlights, especially with the conversation about, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but their studies are showing that the ongoing genocide in Gaza is going to wipe out Gaza's Christian population. It was already very small, and that's something she discusses in this, because her family, they are Christian, not Muslim. So she's going to a Catholic school, but her family is Greek Orthodox. But it was very interesting that I picked this up, and she's having that discussion about them being a minority within a minority, at the same time that I am also hearing about, like, we're seeing what's happening to the Christian population in Gaza. We've met both of the love interests at this point. One of them I like. One of them I'm not so sure about, because so here's the thing. He's either kind of taking advantage of our girl, or he needs more accommodations than he's getting, and he's turned to another student to get those accommodations because he's not getting them from the school. She's not doing the work for him, but it still does feel a bit weird in places where I'm like, I feel like he's kind of taking advantage of the fact that she has a natural understanding of what's going on, or a better understanding of what's going on than him, but at the same time, learning, I feel, should be a group thing. Anyways, not like a group project, but like, we should be able to help each other. I also think that closed book tests are dumb for most things. She is currently, like, she's about to get involved in the AV club because she wants to be in the drama club, but she is a freshman, and freshmen aren't allowed to go into drama, like to enroll in drama, which, weird, a little odd, especially considering, like, sometimes you have, I mean, maybe they just have a big enough high school that they don't need those freshmen. But a lot of the time you do. Oh, there's also some, like, really interesting, complicated stuff going on with her family, with her brother wanting to be a chef instead of a machinist like his dad is, with her sister, like, being the middle child, and, like, clearly having some affection for her and caring about her, but also not wanting her baby sister dragging her down the entire time. Specifically, because her entire family, like, her siblings find out about the autism diagnosis right away, but, like, it's just the typical older sister or older sibling kind of disdain for the younger sibling, where it's just like, you're so not cool. Anyways, I wanted to update you guys. I am trying to finish this by the deadline because tomorrow is when this vlog is supposed to go up, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on because I can't get an audiobook of this. So we're in trouble. Do y'all really want to know where I was April 29th? Because it's here. Finishing this video the day it is supposed to go out. Hey guys! It's fine. That's fine. Everything's fine. Hello, I stayed up way too late finishing Something More by Jackie Kalelia, and it was worth it. So this is a book that is definitely not going to work out for the people who have outgrown, I guess, we'll say outgrown YA. If you're not a big fan of YA, especially contemporary YA anymore, if they can't relate to that anymore, don't read it. Don't pick it up. I thought it was fantastic and cute and wonderful though, and I ended up giving it like a really strong 3 stars. Like, it's really messy in such a realistic way. I love how this really is just a high school experience for this. Why is the glare so bad? It's a library book, that's why. I really loved how this was just a high school experience. Like, we are tackling her relationship with making new friends. We're tackling her first relationship and going through that. We're tackling her having to deal with her family and connection with her family, doing some of that stuff. We're tackling, like, there's, you know, how do you grieve? Like, there's so much going on in this book, and I think a lot of people will be like, wow, that's a lot for one person to go through, but it's also realistically, like, I've had kids that have gone through this. I've had kids that have gone through worse. When I was a youth leader, I guess is what you would call it, like when I was working in my church's youth group, and I did drama there and all of that stuff. So it's like, I really enjoyed it. I really liked how, like, and it's funny because a lot of this is about her kind of on again, off again situationship with one of these boys. And I was like, the way it was working through some of this, I think some people will be like, this is so repetitive, this is so annoying. But I was watching it and, like, all I could think of was like, well, but no, but, like, you see this happen in real life all the time. Kids need to know is something that happens, is something that, like, books like this help kids work through some of that stuff. And I was really impressed by what she was able to put in here and what was going on. I really loved the way, like, there's this really sweet scene, that's the word, is really sweet scene with her brother at one point where, like, they're discussing some stuff and she's, oh really, like, you go through that too? And he was like, well, yeah. Like, he's like, that's not just a you thing. He's like, that's not just because of that's not an autistic thing. That is a, like, dealing with life being shitty. That's something we all do. I love that moment of unexpected connection that she had where her brother's like, no, I understand what you're, like, I can't relate to this part of your experience, but this part right here, like, yeah, I've had to deal with that too, and I've dealt with that too. And I loved that. I love the way that she kind of is going through and getting to know herself and having this new lens to look at herself through and to understand what's going on in her brain. I know people, like, get mad about, like, labeling things and blah blah blah. I've always found a kind of a little bit of a comfort in a label, because if there is a label, that means there are other people that have gone through it, and it helps filter things and helps me find helps you find the resources that you need. So to wrap up, we have finished 3 books. We finished Something More, which we just talked about. We finished Your Blood, My Bones by Kelly Andrew, which is, like, this is so frustrating because it is everything that I love in a book and everything I hate in an ending. If you want to be devastated and feel conflicted and just tortured, if you really want that, this is the tortured part of this, like the tortured Swifties in the title, this is the tortured part, because this book, it will torture you, and for some people it's going to be torture in a good way, and they're going to have such a good time, and they're going to feel things, and they're going to relate to it. So please, if you're interested at all, do pick it up. Again, I can't go into like the specific. If you've watched my videos long enough, you may have a suspicion about what the thing is that happened that I'm like, I can't with that. This is a thing that I can't with so much that my brother has texted me when, like, there are a couple of things that we've read at the same time, and he has texted me on one of our favorite series to read together and be like, hey, can I let me finish this book, because this might fuck you up. And it is a very dumb thing to have affect me this deeply, considering they are fictional characters. So, and it's one of those things that, like, if I have warning ahead of time, I can go into it and I can be like, that has definitely meant I've enjoyed certain books more than I would have if I had known. I can't name any titles because then again, this gives away what happened. But, like, please do check it out if you're interested. Don't let my inability to handle books that do this keep you from checking this book out, because it's a really good book. It is a really well-written book. So I feel so bad. I feel so bad, but it's like the one thing I never want to have happen to my books. I cannot wait to read The Whispering Dark, though, because I know I'm going to have such a good time with that, and I know it doesn't end like this did. So I can't wait. But anyways, and then we read The Shadow Sister, which we gave 5 stars because it is, it's just so good. It's so good. Please, if you are interested in this at all, please go check it out. I know the paperback is coming out soon-ish. If I can find a picture, I've seen the paperback cover, but if I can find a picture of it, I will post it over here. Lily wrote such a wonderful, beautiful, heartfelt, heartwarming book. Like, this book did the opposite for me of what the last book did. I was expecting a certain thing to happen. I was expecting it to go a certain way. I was prepared for this to be how it ended, and Lily said, no, we're not doing that this time. That's how it normally would go, but we're not doing that this time. And I kind of loved it. And I also love the implications it has for some of the family history there. This is a beautiful book about sisters, and about relationships, and about having complicated relationships with your siblings and working through those, and how tragedy can sometimes bring people together closer and how sometimes it doesn't. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to the nonfiction. It's been funny editing this because, like, I'm just like waving it around, and so I'm having to edit out stuff. Hopefully I will be able to get to it soon, because hopefully St. Martin's Press will honor the requests of the people who are boycotting their press right now. I will have an explainer video and the Instagram account where everything, like, you can get more information down below in the description box. Actually, tomorrow is going to be another day of action if you are doing the boycott, so please check that out. Check out the Instagram, all of that good stuff. Also, please don't forget to check all of these books out. And if you're here because you're a reader and you're a Swiftie and you would like to see more content based on my interpretation of Taylor Swift's stuff, I will have my Speak Now, recommending books to Speak Now video right up here, along with something else down here that's related to Taylor Swift. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you like the vibes here, that subscribe button is right down there. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we'll talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye!